Hey there, NBA fans. Ready to dive into the world of All-Star Snubs? Buckle up, because we've got some juicy stories for you. We're talking about players who are left hanging like a missed dunk, desperately longing for that all-star glory. Trust me, there's more drama here than a Kardashian family reunion. So grab your popcorn, sit back, and let's explore these NBA stars' heartbreak and missed opportunities. First up, we have Reggie Miller, the sharpshooter himself. With 5 All-Star appearances, Reggie definitely made his mark. But did you know he got snubbed 5 times? Yeah, you heard that right. The poor guy missed out on the glitz and glamour of the All-Star game in 91, 1992, 93, 97, and 2002. Ouch! Now, here's the kicker. According to our global rating metric, Reggie should have been an All-Star 5 more times. That would have brought his grand total to a whopping 10 appearances. Can you imagine? Reggie hanging out with the elite of the NBA in double digits. But hey, Reggie wasn't just a victim of circumstance. He was a victim of some insane competition, too. Back in the day, the East was packed with legendary guards like Michael Jordan, Isaiah Thomas, and Joe Dumars. And poor Reggie was often the odd one out. Talk about being squeezed. Let's take a trip down memory lane to 1991. Reggie was balling out, averaging 22.6 points a game without missing a match. But guess what? He missed the All-Star honors because Ricky Pierce and Hersey Hawkins stole the show. Yeah, those guys had similar numbers, but seriously, that was their only All-Star appearance ever. It's like Reggie was stuck in an episode of The Twilight Zone. Moving on to our next victim of All-Star neglect, Derek Harper. This poor guy didn't even get a taste of the All-Star experience. 0 appearances. Nada. Zilch. Yet he had a 7-year peak with the Dallas Mavericks, averaging 17.7 points and 7.0 assists. Not too shabby, right? Unfortunately, the Mavs weren't exactly killing it during that time. Sure, they made the playoffs 3 times, but they also had some pretty dismal seasons with 28, 22, and 11 wins. Yeah, I know, not exactly the recipe for all-star glory. It's like trying to win a slam dunk contest with no legs. Poor Derek didn't stand a chance, no matter how well he played. Oh, and get this, folks. Derek Harper was ahead of his time. He had the audacity to shoot threes. Can you believe it? Back then, shooting threes was frowned upon. I guess the basketball gods weren't ready for Harper's long-range magic. Shifting our focus, we have Larry Nance, the high-flying superstar. Larry made it to the All-Star game 3 times, but boy, he got snubbed 4 times. It's like the All-Star selection committee had a personal vendetta against the guy. Larry's peak happened to coincide with an era when the forward position was filled to the brim with all-time greats. Just take a look at 1985-86. Nance was averaging 20.2 points and 8.5 rebounds per game, but he still got left out. Why, you ask? Well, let me drop some names on you. Julius Erving, Larry Bird, Dominique Wilkins, Kevin McHale, and Buck Williams. Yeah, it's like trying to squeeze into a packed elevator when you're already stuffed with pizza. No chance, my friends. And let's not forget Larry Nance Sr. was the OG slam dunk champion. That's where Larry Jr. gets his insane athleticism from. So at least the Nance family has something to be proud of, even if the All-Star selections weren't their strong suit. Time to dribble down the court and continue with a big man who knows how to dominate the court, LaMarcus Aldridge. LaMarcus Aldridge, the man with 7 actual All-Star appearances, couldn't catch a break in the early years of his career. Can you believe it took him until his 6th season to finally earn that coveted All-Star title? Talk about a late bloomer. And it's not like he wasn't putting up impressive numbers. From year 2 through year 5, he was averaging 18.9 points and 8 rebounds. Those are all-star numbers, folks. But alas, the voters seemed to have a case of temporary blindness during those years. Maybe they were dazzled by the sheer talent of the Western Conference forwards. I mean, just listen to this lineup. Carmelo Anthony, Kevin Durant, Pau Gasol, Blake Griffin, Kevin Love, and Dirk Nowitzki. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet of amazingness. No wonder poor Aldridge got snubbed a few times. Who can blame them? It's like trying to pick a favorite ice cream flavor when you're surrounded by delicious options. Now, let's shift our focus to another victim of the All-Star snub phenomenon, Deron Williams. Ah, the good old days when he and Chris Paul were locked in a battle for the title of best point guard in the NBA. It's funny how things change over time, isn't it? But it was a real debate back then, and Williams had his fair share of supporters. Here's an interesting tidbit. Even though Williams missed out on All-Star honors in 2007 and 2008, he still managed to secure a spot on the 2008 Olympic men's basketball team for the United States. Talk about a silver lining. Being part of the Redeemed team, the squad that brought back the gold for Team USA, is definitely an impressive achievement. But let's not forget, Williams had some tough competition in the Western Conference. The guard lineup 2008 included Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, Chris Paul, Steve Nash, and Brandon Roy. It's like a superstar parade. Had Williams played in the Eastern Conference, he mightn't have been snubbed as much. It's like being the tallest kid in a room full of giants. It's tough out there. As the game clock ticks, it's time to jump ball into Stephon Marbury, a player who proved time and time again that he had what it takes to be an all-star. With 2 actual appearances under his belt, Marbury was snubbed not once, not twice, but thrice. Can you believe it? This all-star selection process, a popularity contest where deserving players can end up on the sidelines while the beloved favorites get their moment in the spotlight. Poor Marbury didn't have the coaches or media on his side, which might explain why he missed out on those well-deserved rosters. But when Marbury did make it to the All-Star game, boy, did he put on a show. Who can forget that unforgettable performance in 2001? It's like he was saying, "Hey world, watch out for me." Now, let's travel back to the 80s, a decade filled with big hair, funky music, and some seriously talented basketball players. One of them was Terry Cummings, a force to be reckoned with on the court. Despite his undeniable skills, he found himself on the wrong end of the All-Star snub stick 3 times. You believe that? The man even outscored the mighty Jordan in a playoff series. But unfortunately, the All-Star gods didn't show Tate the love he deserved. Seems like playing in the East during the 80s was a curse for forwards like Cummings. The competition was fierce, and poor Terry didn't stand a chance with all those Hall of Famers hogging the spotlight. But wait, folks, there's more. Picture this. It's the 1989-90 season, and Terry is averaging 22.4 points and 8.4 rebounds for the San Antonio Spurs. Their record? A whopping 56 wins. That would be enough to secure an all-star spot, right? Nope. Instead, we had AC Green, the starting forward for the Lakers, averaging a modest 12.9 points with no other accolades to his name that season. The quirks of popularity in the NBA. Moving on to our next snub star, let's talk about Andre Iguodala. Before he became a crucial part of the Golden State Warriors dynasty, Iguodala was a legit star in his own right. 1 All-Star appearance? Well, according to our global rating metric, he deserved 3 more. What a shame. Andre was a true two-way player, excelling on both ends of the court. Unfortunately, his prime years coincided with some forgettable seasons for the Philadelphia 76ers. Winning 40, 41, and 27 games wasn't enough to earn him that coveted All-Star nod. No hype, no flashy name, and no standout team. No wonder he got snubbed. But hey, we all know how this story turned out, right?
Iguodala! Oh my!
Well, next on our list is Sam Cassell. This guy had some great skills on the court, but only made it to the All-Star game once. Talk about a rare occurrence. In fact, he was snubbed not once, not twice, but 3 times. Come on, NBA. Give the man his due. Picture this. It's the year 2000, and Cassell is dropping 18.6 points and dishing out 9 assists per game. Those are all-star numbers, my friends. But who gets the nod instead? Allen Iverson, Ray Allen, and Reggie Miller. Yeah, those guys were great too, but Cassell definitely deserves some love. Next, we have Richard Jefferson. This guy was putting up all-star level stats left and right during the mid-2000s. I mean, 19.7 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 3.3 assists per game? That's no joke. But somehow, the All-Star game kept eluding him. It's like the Eastern Conference forgot he existed. Poor guy. Sure, the East wasn't exactly a powerhouse during that time, but still, Jefferson deserved better. Maybe the competition just couldn't handle his skills. Or perhaps they were too busy watching him from the bench thinking, wow, that dude can ball. Now, let's talk about Josh Smith. This man was an absolute beast on the court. He had athleticism, dunks, and defensive prowess. But you know what he loved a little too much? Shooting threes. It's like he couldn't resist chucking it up from downtown, even though it hurt his efficiency. Unfortunately, the lack of offensive punch might have cost him some all-star appearances. For 3 straight years, the NBA overlooked Smith's talents. And let me tell you, that's a serious offense, especially when you consider the competition he was up against. LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, and Paul Pierce. Ouch! Now it's time to move on to Rod Strickland, a guard with immense skills but zero All-Star appearances. I mean, come on, NBA. Are you serious? This guy was snubbed not once, not twice, but 3 times. In 94, 96, and 98, Strickland had to watch from the sidelines while lesser guards made the All-Star roster. It's like they were blindfolded, folks. Now, let's talk about that insane season in 97-98. Strickland was on fire. He was averaging 17.8 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 1.7 steals. And guess what? He led the league in assists with a mind-blowing 10.5 per game. But wait for it, he was only second-team All-NBA that year. Seriously, NBA, what more did this man need to do? Oh, but no worries. The East was just stacked with guards like Jordan, Penny Hardaway, Tim Hardaway, Reggie Miller, and Steve Smith. Yeah, easy peasy for Strickland to knock those guys off their perch. Not. Moving on to our next snub star, Paul Pressey. This versatile forward had it all. He could pass, rebound, and defend like a boss. But the All-Star game? Nah, not for him. Despite making 3 all-defensive teams, Pressey never got the nod. I guess defense just doesn't count when it comes to being an All-Star. Come on, global rating, you believed in him. What happened, NBA? And last but not least, let's talk about Monta Ellis. This guy was a beast on the court, but the Western Conference wasn't doing him any favors. I mean, seriously, have you seen the competition? In 2015, Ellis was putting up almost 19 points per game, dishing out assists and swiping steals left and right. But guess who made the cut? Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Kobe Bryant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Chris Paul, and Damian Lillard. Yeah, that's right, all future Hall of Famers or already inducted. Ellis? Well, not so much. It's like being in a race against lightning while wearing cement shoes. Well, we've reached the end of our epic journey through the world of all-star snubs. I don't know about you, but my heart aches for these talented players who miss the glitz and glamour. It's like witnessing a proposal gone wrong, but on a much grander stage. Let me tell you this, life isn't always a slam dunk, especially in the NBA. Sometimes the stars just don't align, and the competition is as tough as LeBron's defense. It's like trying to beat Stephen Curry in a 3-point shootout while blindfolded. Good luck with that, my friends. Now it's time to show some love to these overlooked stars. I want to hear from you. Which of these all-star snubs tugs at your heartstrings the most? Is it Reggie Miller's 5-time misfortune? Or maybe the 0 appearances of Derek Harper? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this journey through the NBA's all-star snub history, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click that notification bell. We've got more videos coming your way. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll witness the ultimate redemption arc for these deserving players. Until then, keep ballin' and keep believing.